All right, dude. Into Sinnoh Gen 4.
Yo,
Are you
now we're
excited for this,
talking,
Jay?
baby. Yes.
Okay. I'm
Always
gonna
tier 3 S tier guys. That's pretty fucking good.
Okay, dude. I'm gonna let you do most of the talking on these because they are mons that you know very well and mons that I have familiarity with, but not like I'm not a Gen 4 love like I'm not obsessed with Gen 4, which I feel like a lot of people like really love these games.
Unfortunate for you.
True.
Let's get him right out of the way. This
Okay.
guy's probably the best starter, period. I
Okay. I'm
mean,
not sure about that, but do
this
you
guy
want to put
belongs
it
in F
above?
tier. Yeah, above Meganium.
Okay.
He can be whatever you want. Like if you want to go physical, you can. If you want to go special, you can. If you want to go mixed, you can. He's fast. He has all the stats to back it up. Gets great moves. It's close combat, Mach Punch. Some games Sky Uppercut, Flare Blitz. It even gets Calm Mind. Like and just as early as Gen 4 it gets Calm Mind. So if you want that setup, I don't know if we're considering that or not.
Sure.
But besides that, it learns Taunt by level up. So it just has so much utility. Like you can give it Stealth Rocks. I mean, it's crazy. This guy, like, you can mold into something very particular if you need it or want it. Or it can be as broad as Gator, but actually, like, good. I mean, I don't know. The typing is great. Yes, they repeated the firefighting. I think they did better with this one. Iron Fist's ability is really insane. Getting elemental punches by tutors is insane. Just everything about this guy he just pops off, dude. Yeah, I don't know if you have anything else to add, but I love him for Nape. I think it's my favorite starter overall.
The only
So
thing
I'm very biased.
the only thing that I think I can add to this, because as much as I personally don't care for Infernape in terms of like, for me, the design elements like give it a low. I also think that there are just other cooler fire types out there, and but I have to understand that this Pokemon is exceptional for all the reasons that you stated. This Pokemon, to put it in D&D terms for any D&D players out there, like this is choosing variant human as your race, which basically means you can just like +1 in any stat, or I think +2 in
Yo.
any stat, and like learn a whole host of feats. Like this guy is the all rounder for sure. And by far one of the most versatile starters, and even Pokemon, I guess you could say that we've seen in a minute. Like I think only Greninja kind of comes close-ish to this level of adaptability. That's intended pun,
Yeah.
by the way. Even doesn't get that ability.
Ah. I
I
think the other
Go
thing
ahead.
to note is that if you're considering vanilla games, this is like the only fire type you get, unless you get Ponyta or like Houndoom or something.
Yep, Gen
There's
4
no
is
other
barren.
there's no fire type, so it has just for that like has immense value for being one of the only fire guys. And like we didn't really talk like or I didn't say much about ROM hacking because they give it so much in vanilla that it just doesn't need it's not like Meganium that needs to be fixed, right? Where ROM hacks fixed it. It just out of the box,
I'm pretty sure they
pretty
ported it
good.
straight over. They were like, nope, yep, this guy's good.
Yeah, I mean they gave it some stuff, right? But for the most part, it was already really good. Game Freak did actually good on this one, so yay, good job.
Yeah, Game Freak gave you a pseudo legendary out of the box.
Yo,
Like,
let's go.
yeah, of course it's good. Um,
That's what I'm talking about.
yeah, this thing just dishes out insane damage. Very good. Let's talk about the others, the other Sinnoh boys.
The other S tier boys.
Yeah,
I mean, which one? Who
let's
next?
start with Torterra.
Okay. Is has immunity, right? So that's automatically a very good thing. Very tanky, it's slow, right? Really good on the bulky on the physical side. It's okay on the special defense side, decent HP,
Mm-hmm.
hard hitter. Get stuff like Woodhammer, Earthquake, Leech Seed. I guess if you want to sub with like Withdraw or Curse, you can.
Mm-hmm.
You know, doesn't make good use of Mega or Giga Drain, which is kind of sad, but or Leaf
But
Storm, those
Leech
are trash
Seed is
moves.
huge on a defensive mon.
Leech Seed I think is huge. You give it Protect, and that guy is big chilling. It can. The thing is that like if you comp to Swampert, right, where they're both bulky, but Swampert's like more of a damage outputter, and Torterra is more of sit on the field for a little bit,
Hmm.
and slowly take you down. So I think he's a little different than some of what the other guys we've looked at. I'd say it's closer to like a Meganium than a Swampert because it can just kind of sit
Sure.
and sit and
And like
slowly.
synthesis is huge too on this, like getting half your
Yeah, it
HP
gets that
back.
too. Yep. I guess the other thing we haven't really discussed a lot of is weather. So not that there's a lot of sand teams in a lot of the games,
Yeah.
but at least he doesn't take the damage from the chip there.
Yep.
But I don't know. I could understand if you didn't think it's S tier. Um,
I
I
think
think lowest is like top of A though. I mean, it's pretty fucking good.
like okay, so here's where I'm at.
Okay.
Um, One, this Pokemon is everything that Blastoise wanted to be and fell short of. For turtle Pokemon, they just didn't give Blastoise enough damaging moves except
Hmm.
Hydro Cannon, which is Hydro Hyper Beam but with miss
Yo,
or with
let's
recharge.
let's go, dude.
Um, I like yes, I agree the bulk is great. Yes, all the things you said are
Oh,
correct.
there's one more very important thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is more of a ROM hacking thing. A
Oh,
lot
you're
of
talking
ROM hacks
about
give this
the healing
battle
thing.
armor.
Oh, okay.
Well, or that too. Yeah, self. I think it's only a red thing, but a lot of games this gets battle armor. So that in its own right is pretty massive.
Yeah, not getting crit is huge. Um,
So I don't know.
I
I mean, I think S, but if you want to say A, like I think this is better than Swampert, honestly. But the thing is that they're just different, right? They
yeah,
kind of do a little bit different things. It
sure.
like I guess the question is, do we think does Meganium do its job better than Torterra would? Because they're
Here's what I think about Torterra. I think Torterra
okay.
loses to water types, which gives it kind of a disadvantage. Like water
Mm,
types with ice coverage
sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
and
Obviously, ice
ice
moves
being
kind of
a
fuck with
super
stuff.
splashable coverage move. Um, I think that makes this tough to grace the S tier. Um,
But as you said, it could be a way to you know what you're baiting. It's gonna be a
that is
nice move.
true. That is true. Yep. Um, I have to agree with you
It's a
there.
tough one because that kind of goes both ways. Yeah, like it gets fucked by ice, but then you probably know it's going for it, so
But
you
uh,
get out of there.
well, right. But again, like you would expect your grass type starter to be able to wall the water types, and if this can't, like
Right.
then you only bring this in situations where you're fighting like ground types, steel types. Which I mean, steel types I guess would give it that advantage, but um, I think the tanky mons like the even Meganium, right? So we have Meganium in S tier right now,
Mhm.
mostly because of the fairy typing, which
Right.
you have to agree is insane.
Yes.
Ground and
Absolutely.
grass together, like the immunity to electric is actually not that important, I think, on this mon particularly. Like I think it's good for switch in value, and I think it threatens electric types, but I think that grass mons threaten electric types in an interesting way naturally because they resist electric type moves.
Right.
So, like giving it the resistance isn't giving it like additional favors, I guess, necessarily. Like I guess it prevents you from being paralyzed, but again, like you're the slowest thing on the field some of the time.
Probably
And
most. Yeah.
yeah. So, like I definitely think this gets better like when curse is really important. Like if your speed code doesn't matter at all, if you have like all these healing elements and stuff, like I think that's a way to make this better. I think this has to go in A. Do I think it's better than Venusaur? I think it's better than Sceptile because of its sticking power on the field. Um,
Sure.
I feel like it rides around the same place as Swampert.
They just yeah. It's just that they're different, but I know what you mean. Like they're kind of the bulky boys of their generations.
I mean, truly, I would prefer the bulk on Torterra, I think, more than the bulk on Swampert.
I just feel like with Swampert, like I don't know, like Torterra, you can kind of sit on. I mean, it could even sit on flying types if you needed to.
Yep.
I think the one sticking point is like it's the ice weakness that and a lot of water mons are going to have that coverage that kind of screws with it. And then the electric immunity not being like super good.
Yeah.
Because you're already going to resist anyways. I don't know. They're probably like neck and neck.
Yeah,
So
I think this slightly edges out Swampert, but it falls to Venusaur.
yeah,
You think that's fair?
I'm good with that.
Okay. I like again, if piloted correctly, this mon is insane. Like
Right.
and here's the thing too, we kind of get into when we get into later gens is like all starters for the most part become insane. And it then becomes a
Right.
question of like, okay, well now we really have to mince the hairs about them and
Mm-hmm.
like who
True.
really has like the upper hand in some of these scenarios.
Right.
Yeah. Like, okay, so like good example, Empoleon, which is coming up. I think this
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon is awesome. I love the design. I love the move pool for the most part. But this does not stick up to some of these other starters
Yeah,
to
I'm
me.
actually looking at its learn set right now, and I'm a little disappointed. Like the typing's insane. It doesn't actually learn a. It gets Metal Claw by level up, but that's it. But it's a special
Well,
attacker.
you get Flash Cannon later on, but not in Gen 4, right?
You can get it by TM in Gen 4, Gen 5. He doesn't get it by level up. Gen 6, I don't think he gets it.
Gen
Yeah,
5 is
he
a
doesn't.
TM though as well.
Right. Oh yeah, so I guess I can't remember which games have the unlimited TMs. But if you have limited TMs, then or if you can even get it.
Right, but if you're getting Flash Cannon in game, you're absolutely teaching this either to Magnezone or Empoleon.
Right. So I guess yeah, there's that. It just seems kind of weird that the only steel move it gets by level up is Metal Claw. It just seems a little odd.
I mean,
Even
kind of, but they don't have many steel type special attackers. Like, steel is not a type that you would necessarily associate with special attack. Like,
right,
you
but I mean,
associate it
I
being
guess
hard and hitting hard physically.
I guess what I'm saying is I think it should get more moves by level up. Like it should just get Flash Cannon by level up, and
Sure.
you know, but yeah, there's not many steel moves, I guess, to go around there.
Yeah.
I think I don't know.
Talk to me,
I
Jake.
was saying S tier, but I was kind of trolling because I honestly don't. The thing is when I play these games, I don't use Empoleon because I think the other two are much better,
Yes.
and
Correct.
I'll use Torterra when I'm bored of using Infernape. When he's shitting on everyone. So
Yeah.
I just don't know that Empoleon's definitely the worst of the three Sinnoh starters.
Yeah.
I think it is better than Typhlosion because it gets the good typing. I think Steel typing is really good on this,
Mm-hmm.
but otherwise, it's nothing special. He's just
Correct.
kind of mid.
I
He's just
agree.
kind of mid.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think again, huge design, kind of bungled. Like, if they gave this
Kind
thing even
of.
like Swift Swim, like maybe it would do better.
Right.
But yeah, they were just like, oh well, we're gonna make this water
Because
type
this
bulky
isn't
yet again.
the only hidden I don't even know what other abilities ROM hacks give it. Like it gets Clear Body and Run and Bun, which is pretty interesting. I don't. It doesn't ever get battle armor in any games. It doesn't get like I forget what it gets in Renplat, but it's not like anything of note because again, like in Renplat, you're just better off with like getting Monkey and Torterra. So you
Yeah,
just never get this anyways. I don't even know what the
and
fuck it gets.
and the problem too is like it's not fast enough to actually really take advantage of the Torrent ability. Like
Yeah.
these abilities, to be fair, we talked them up at the beginning, but they also like are heavily hindered by you have to go first.
Right.
And to be able to get the damage off. Otherwise, like if you're getting outsped and KO'd, there's no chance for you to actually use the one
Right.
or the
Yep.
50% boost.
It's actually only a little bit faster than Torterra, so it's not even like
Yeah.
you know, the physical bulk isn't great. The special bulk's okay. Yeah, it's just
I mean, like,
the steel
yeah, like
typing kind of carries here.
the spread fits the design. Like, yeah, it's like a big bulky emperor penguin, but
Yep.
like because of that, it becomes not a great viable Pokemon in terms of like actually doing damage and killing stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know why you'd ever pick this Pokemon, actually.
You would pick this Pokemon if you wanted it to be your best friend and Pokemon companion
If it's your
in
favorite
life.
Pokemon, yeah.
Yeah. But
True. Okay.
but then again, it's also like not a for
It's not a
Like
Gator. I mean,
it definitely outclasses Gator. Um,
The thing is, like, especially when you're like we're rating these three starters back to back to back, and it's not a bad starter. It's just that the other two are just so much better.
Yeah, it
You know?
definitely like if this was put into Gen 2,
Oh yeah,
like
we'd be talking about it totally differently.
yeah, or even like
Mm.
uh I regret to say it, but like even Gen 5, like
Over Samurott.
over Samurott, like kind of interesting, especially
If
given the
Samurott
other
was
mons that we
steel
have.
type, I think it would be like really fucking good
If Samurott was what?
if it was steel typing.
Oh, right.
Because
Yeah, I hear you.
no, I mean not to jump ahead, but it doesn't have great defensive stats, but it having a good defensive typing plus like decent, attacking stats would make it a little better
Yeah,
than what it is.
surely.
Anyways,
Well, I
no
think that
foreshadowing.
that cleans up the Gen 4, guys. Let's talk about Gen 5.
Mm-hmm.
I have
Uh,
a bias here, but I
you
will
want to you want to
recognize that.
you want to go first? You want to take it away with your guy?
I'll talk about Embor. Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
hear it.
Mbeezus. So I love the design of this Pokemon. I love the bulky fire type element. Um, but I understand that this is not the best firefighting starter we've ever had. Correct. So
Oh, I.
like this is no Infernape by any means. But but Tepe has always been my Gen 5 pick. Like I don't know. Part of me thinks about like if this were an anime, like yes, Pokemon is an anime, but like if Embor was like the main character of its own anime, like this thing would pop the fuck off. But it's not. So, um,
New criteria for the tier list. How they would
yeah,
do in an
how would
anime.
it do as a solo anime protagonist?
That's crazy.
As much as it pains me to say, okay, here's what I'll say over Typhlosion, right? Even though Typhlosion has eruption and is faster and does more damage with the fire type moves, I think that the presence of like Hammer Arm in close combat and Flare Blitz make this a scary mon, especially when you get into later gens with like Reckless, where you just, you know, do crazy damage with those moves specifically. You do have to understand that this is not the fastest Pokemon, so again, you're like trying to use it under Trick Room if you're like using a competitive single set or like but you wouldn't do that for a Nuzlocke, right? Like,
Right.
like you never click Trick Room unless your opponent is clicking Trick Room and you're like negating Trick Room, kind of. Or you have a specific plan to play into an opponent's using Trick Room. It pains me to do this, but I think I have to put it at the top of Cockatier. Like it loses to psychic types, it loses to ground types pretty handily. Like the thing that this works best against is ice types, but like whoop de doo.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
just like anything that's faster than this, like can just take advantage of the fact that this isn't one shotting it to then double kill or like two
Right.
shot. Um, like if this had a little bit more power and was able to like if this was like a Darmanitan level of like nuke the field kind of situation, I think we'd be having a slightly different conversation. But I think because it doesn't have the speed to be able to use its blaze ability,
Right.
the bulk to be able to like stay on the field for 2 turns against super effective mons, like I think it just loses. I think the best thing it got was the fire ground typing, but having fighting coverage in Renplat.
I
But
will say that
anyway,
it in Rad Red it gets Bull Rush, which is pretty interesting. So
yeah,
but looking at its stats, like it just oh, it's so tough because like the redeeming thing here is it has 110 base HP, but then 65 base defense and speed def is so bad.
yeah, it
And
can't make use
65
of it.
base speed. You just like get outsped and then yeah.
Again,
It
like
has it
mixed
has
attacker, but
potential.
done poorly.
Yeah, true. I think you nailed it pretty well. I can agree with. I'm not gonna try and drag it through the mud any more than you already did, but
And it hurt to do. Let me just say,
I know takes a big person to do that.
yeah,
Really proud of you.
thank you. Okay, let's talk about something else.
Okay. Let's see what's next. Superior.
Yeah. Talk about this guy.
I mean, this guy is insane, right? Gets
Only if
contrary.
you have contrary.
Right.
Like
Which,
this is no Sceptile with Overgrow, I think.
yeah, it definitely benefits more having contrary than overgrow for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he's fast. I mean, what's his base speed? Like 100 something?
Yeah.
What's this thing called? Snivy?
Yeah. Superior.
113 base speed. So yeah, the stats don't jump out. Like 75 base HP, attack, and special attack. 95 base defense and speed def. But then if you're using like Leaf Storm with contrary, that's pretty
Yeah,
that's
it's
pretty
kind of like
good.
the Blaziken treatment, right? Like the speed is low, but it has a way to boost it. Or
Right. Yep.
so it kind of covers that by what it can do.
My first inclination with this is like, okay, how can I get this mon S tier? And then we start peeling back the onion. We're like, okay, this Pokemon is not S tier.
Wow, just
And
like its
so,
coat, it like peels off of its body. That's crazy. Onion.
yeah, they're crazy when it coils or whatever. Um,
Yeah, also you never use coil on this thing.
yeah, if you have contrary, you don't want to use coil.
No
It's
shot.
kind of funny. Um, I would put it like in the basic tier, honestly.
Yeah.
It has a niche that it can fulfill if you can keep it on the field long enough to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
The thing with Blaziken though is that like speed is king, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you could boost superior stats, but if you get crit or whatever, you're just dead if you're not outspeeding things. So it's
Or if
feels a
you're
little different.
Yeah, or if you just get outsped base by like a better flying type. Like
Right.
again, this is a mon like Typhlosion that benefits from Choice Scarf
Yeah,
and being the fastest thing on
definitely.
the field, and then just starting to snowball.
Yep. Because I don't think it gets like. Does it get leech seed or anything like that? It does get leech seed, so there is that. But
Yeah, but like it doesn't have
again,
any
it's not
staying power,
tanky. Yeah, it doesn't have
right?
staying power. I
And
mean, 95 base defense and spit F is okay, but it's not. But the
but
75 HP kind of hurts it a lot.
here's the thing too. Like
Mhm.
if you throw Embor in against this thing, Embor's taken 3 Leaf Storms, even under contrary, before this thing dies.
Someone
Like
got the calculator.
okay, yeah, like, and the only other coverage is Dragon Pulse, pretty much.
Right.
Like this thing gets very, very few moves that are
Yeah.
not within its own type. So I
Yeah,
think
I
that's
think
limiting,
yeah. Like ROM hacks make it better, but not much better. Like
right?
going give me the dragon typing, but yeah, I don't think it's like much improved. I would
Do you think it's
probably
better?
like bottom of basic tier. I
You
don't know
think
if it's better than
Typhlosion is better?
Typhlosion. Yeah. I'm looking at this and I'm starting to think like maybe Typhlosion is better than we're giving it credit for because
No,
we're
false. Sorry, no.
okay, fair enough. I mean, I just feel like adaptability eruption scarf is like really
Okay, here,
nuts.
there you go.
Okay. Yeah, get out of here, Empoleon.
Mm-hmm.
What's
Actually,
next?
I would say this.
You think it's better than Empoleon?
Yeah,
All right. I'm not
I'm
gonna
sad
fight
about
for
it,
that.
but I think it is true. Because again, you can't deny that a +2 to your special attacking stat, like this is something that can
Oh
also
yeah,
make use of Overgrow.
sure.
So, like
Yeah,
for
no, I'm with you.
Nuzlocke,
Yeah,
like you can
that's
lead
fair.
it and just start like taking through stuff. Let's keep going. Let's keep cruising.
Okay.
Samurott.
All right. Yeah, Samurott. If this was literally water steel, I think it would be like definite A tier. But because it's not, it has its bulk is okay. It's attacking. It's this is like better Gator, like slightly better
Slightly better
for
Gator.
Alligator,
Yep.
which
Its coverage is better also.
its coverage is better. It does get stuff like Aqua Jet, right? Which
Yep.
is
Party's big.
cool. It does get Sword Dance by level up, but that's usually. Oh, okay. Actually, this is an Encore user. I don't think we've had an Encore starter user yet, so that's
Interesting. Is it
interesting.
fast enough to make use of it though?
With 70 base speed, probably not, unless it's something slower,
Yeah.
or unless you just want to tank a electric move on purpose. I don't
Yeah,
know.
right. Like, ooh, yes, I'll encore you into the move that I died to. Thank you.
But I mean, this gen introduces the resist berries, right? Like the Wakan berry and stuff, or is that
Mhm.
Gen 4? I forget. So I
Nope, that's
mean, like
correct.
there's probably technology
Maybe
for.
technology. I think too, this like talking about Hisuian forms, like this benefited from the water dark typing, and also
Oh
getting
yeah,
the ceaseless edge move.
True.
Like I just watched a video about that, and Cecil's Edge kind of looks nutty, wherein you're doing insane amounts of damage because it's stab and also like sharpness as an ability if you take away
Mhm.
the torrent. Um,
Wait,
and
this
then
makes it so that they can't switch, right? If you use the Ceaseless
no,
Edge, is that?
Ceaseless Edge actually sets a layer of spikes
Oh, right. Okay.
after
Yeah. Yeah.
hitting, um, which like before you would have to dedicate a spikes user and then usually let it go down and
Yeah.
then do that. So like you just you threaten opponents that really want to switch. Um,
Right.
but like even just like having a really strong physical dark move, like does really well into psychic types, does really well into ghosts. Um,
I like this
but I
line.
don't think that this is like really elevating its position at all. Like I wanted to definitely like highlight those things, but
Yeah.
I think on the
I
whole like
I think it benefits more than Typhlosion did because the thing, like, when I think of Samurott, I think of Red
yeah,
and like Cecil's edging, and then you can just flip turn out and that kind of stuff. And
sure.
yeah, I don't even know if flip turn's like actually a real move or if that's just a ROM hack move, but
I think it's a ROM hack move.
yeah, it should be a
Oh
real move
no
because
no
it's
no no no.
is
Doesn't
it
Floatzel get it in Gen 4?
flip turn?
That's Cap. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know when it gets it, but yeah,
Whatever. Anyway.
the dark typing is cool. It gets some cool stuff. It probably matters like a little bit, but not too much. I don't know. I mean, I think it might be better than everything in the basic tier. I don't know though. Is it better than Superior?
I don't think it's better than
Wait,
Typhlosion if we're strictly considering adaptability eruption.
right. Yeah. The thing is that with Typhlosion, adaptability, eruption shits on a lot of things. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so maybe it should be an S tier. I don't know. I think in B tier,
I agree.
maybe ahead of Empoli. If this thing had steel typing, it would be incredible. I think, but
Sure.
yeah, unfortunate. If they did
You think
combine these two into
do you
one
think it's not
Pokemon,
better than Superior?
no, because I mean, Superior can be like an insane sweeper, and Samurott,
Sure.
like its
I'd buy
best
that.
thing is like trying to encore something potentially, and then getting out and maybe cleaning up in the back with Aqua Jet, um, on low things. But it feels like Superior has all the upside, like the biggest chance for some kind of crazy ass pop off.
Sure. All right. That's 5 gens down. We got 3 to go. Now
Yo,
is a good time for the disclaimer that we're not actually going to do Gen 9, mostly just because neither Jake or I have experience with them very much.
yeah,
And so, like, especially as it pertains to Nuzlocking, like, neither of us have played really Red 4.0, so it's kind of hard to say,
yep.
which is the only game that they feature in. And also, Paldea is just, like, a huge fucking sandbox. And Nuzlocking, it seems kind of moot. Okay.
It's time.
No, God. Okay.
It's time.
Please present to
We're-
me your argument why Chestnut should not be in the fucking trash tier.
All right, Chespin's an A tier Pokemon. I'm not gonna try and greet it for the S tier.
Okay.
It gets Spiky Shield. It gets Leech Seed. It has decent staying power, 122 base defense. So with the right thing in front of it, it can stay for a while. What else does it get? I mean, Hammer Arm's pretty good. If I don't care about speed too much, it's got 60. Yeah, it's pretty fucking slow. Wood Hammer, Bulk Up, Seed Bomb. It's got moves. It's got moves. It's got staying power. Is it great against everything? Of course not. Is Bulletproof a dumb ability with how Game
Sometimes.
Freak did it? Yes. But in games like Rad Red, it is very, very, very good. Most notably, think against like Giovanni and Silphco or something, it pops off there pretty well. Um, I don't know. This guy's just good. Like Spiky Shield is insane, and you give it like a Rocky Helmet or something or leftovers, Leech Seed. It can stay for a while. I think that's pretty. I mean, it does like what Torterra does basically, in a sense. Well,
Sorry, I was waiting to see if you were finished.
oh yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
I want to hear. I want to hear where you're going with it.
I think this Pokemon gets carried by Spiky Shield. And the assumption that your opponent is going to attack it. which in ROM hack or in Nuzlocke, it is, right? So I do have
Right.
to concede a little bit on that. That you are getting the passive damage spiky shield combo off. Yes, Rocky Helmet is huge. It was basically made for this Pokemon and for a Thorn.
Yo.
The thing is, like, so for the same reasons that Breloom is good, this Pokemon is good. However, this doesn't get Mach Punch. God, the design is so bad. Can we just agree that this is a horrifying Pokemon to look at?
I do wish that they kept it like I think Chespin's an adorable Pokemon, and I love it 'cause
Even
of
if
the
they
anime.
just had it like the spiky headed helmet, like
It should just be a big ass Chespin's what it should be.
yeah, this is horrendous.
Yeah, I will give you the design. The design I think of Quilladin 2 is fucking atrocious.
Yeah. Yes.
So yeah, if you based on if you want to dock points for design,
I don't. I
fine,
like
yeah.
we shouldn't, but I just have to bring up personally that it is abhorrent to gaze
Yes.
upon.
That's I'll allow it.
Moving away
It's
from that
true.
large faux pas,
It just feels like this is a guy like Torterra. You want to put in the field in front of something that it can just sit on, like
yeah, but
Leech
Stall
Seed
feels so
or-
scummy, but it's also so good for Nuzlocke, right? Like the thing is, okay, let me do this
mean,
first.
yeah,
Can I do
okay.
something first?
Yeah, sure.
Delphox goes to dumb tier. I don't even want to talk about this Pokemon and how much it disappointed me. We can come back to it in a minute. But like, I think this is the middle starter in terms of viability for this trio. I think Greninja is unmatched of these three. I never want to pick this Pokemon because to me this does everything against what a starter should do. Like I feel like your starter is the mon that like is super reliable and does a lot of damage. And the only thing I can think about this thing doing is sitting on the field and spiky shielding and leech seeding and toxic and just like hiding behind
Drain
spiky
punching.
shielding. Yeah,
but
sure.
Listen, but like Sceptile, it has a thing that it does, and it does it very, very, very well. It doesn't do anything else very well except for that. So you have to like concede that for the
Yes.
like they designed it to do what it's meant to do. Like they didn't give it like I don't know. They gave it great physical defense to sit in the field to take advantage of physical hits or whatever.
Yep.
They didn't make it mixed. Like it's intentionally very bad outside of the attacking and the defense stats.
Right.
Which I don't it does like do your job, right?
Okay, where do you want me to put this?
I mean I think it's an A tier. We're an A tier. We can debate that. I mean, I think it's better than the guys in the B tier.
I think
Typhlosion.
if we put this in the A tier, I think Typhlosion has to move up to the A tier behind Blaziken.
Okay. I mean, okay, so where did you want to put this? Did you really want to put this in trash initially?
No. This can't go in trash.
Right.
I really want to put it in basic, but I understand that it is more viable than I would like to give it credit for.
I think we can put it, yeah, just like we can put it next to Typhlosion, because if we end up moving those two up to acceptable, then we have like, I don't know, all the Pokemon are just like an A tier, which may be true.
Yeah. Like maybe this spread, or do you still want?
Yeah, we can move Typh up. I think yeah. The more we talk about Typhlosion, it's like okay, just
yeah.
Dude's
been creeping up the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that
listen,
Eruption is too palpable to ignore.
What can I ask you though? Because I
sure
don't have much Delphox experience. What exactly about it is it that you are disappointed by?
The stats suck. It's not fast enough to do the things you need it to do. Magician is a terrible hidden ability. This like because it's a fire type, it's okay, but it's so mid, and the opportunity to have a fire psychic mon is so cool, and then they just botched it. Like the
Like how much more stats? Like because it has 104 base speed, so it's not like he's not a whippersnapper by
yeah,
any means.
what's
He's
its
not
special
slow.
attack?
114. So I mean, it's. I'm looking at this and I'm like, I don't know. Like I haven't used this Pokemon except for in the full series. The problem with the Kalos region is that like all the starters just shit on everything because it's just dog shit games, I guess. But
Yeah,
like it gets Will-O-Wisp, it gets screens, it gets Switcheroo. I mean, come on.
yeah, whoop de doo.
Mystical Fire is actually kind of cool though.
Mystical fire is the best thing that they did for it.
Yeah.
Like being able to wall their special attackers with that, and the screens arguably is good. Okay, I'll put it at the top of Kako. I think.
I think yeah, I can get behind that. I do think it's better than at least Blastoise.
Yeah,
Blastoise kind of dog, dude. I'm not gonna
Blastoise
lie.
is super dog. We could put that in dumb tier, maybe even. Um, but like, yeah, it does have the sort of like icon status too from Gen 1.
True.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
don't see any other mons here necessarily going to dog or to dumb tier for the rest of it. Anyway, let's talk about Greninja. Greninja's nuts.
Yeah, this is S tier.
Like it's a glass cannon, but it
I mean, if you have
Protean is
protein,
a nutty
every move is
ability.
stab. Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah, I think it's worse than Infernape in some ways.
yeah.
Like they're very very closely matched, but
It has the flexibility that Infernape has. It's kind of a weird because like if you want to like I don't know, does it get Calm Mind stuff like that?
no, I don't think so.
Yeah. So I mean, but it's interesting.
Here's
Water Surfing's really
the best
cool.
thing about Greninja. Like yes, everyone wants to talk about its offensive typing or its offensiveness because of its ability. Um, which like you'd never want to run Torrent on this. Like you always
Right.
want Protean. But the defensive element of it is huge
Oh
too.
yeah.
Like the fact that you can choose to do less damage but give yourself a better typing.
Typing.
It's like terastallizing. It gives you the same sort of benefit as a terastallization where you can nullify the damage you're taking from other moves. But the beautiful thing about Protean is that you're still able to do some damage.
Yeah.
And give yourself stab. So I think
Yeah.
this Pokemon's nuts.
If you give this to a smart player, it is insanely good.
Well,
Like
and like even in competitive, right? Like there's a huge reason why like Ash Greninja was on a shitload of teams. Like it had Water Shuriken, which is priority. It's like basically Aqua Jet, but it hits 3 times. You get again a super diverse move pool, much like Infernape. Yeah, you can run this as a mixed set. You can run it as a fully physical or fully special set. Um, Gets U-turn. U-turn is an insane move. Also, Infernape gets U-turn. Very applicable for Nuzlocke.
true. It just gets a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
You can do a
agree.
lot with this guy. Very good and
Shall
very
we
nice.
move on to Aloha?
The Aloha region. Oh yes.
What do you think about
Um,
the Alolan guys, Jake?
I think this is why fucking sucks.
I think you're so wrong, but okay.
Why?
Um,
Grass, ghost,
I think having a ghost
slow.
starter type
It's
is pretty
cool.
good. I'm trying to think
It,
of the totems
it,
that it comes like in the regions that it comes from. Cause
this is like another case where I just feel like picking Incineroar Primarina, they're just like better, right? They're
I think picking Primarina is an int.
really that guy kind of fucks.
Like it has the power, yes, but I again I think you're a little red pilled.
Well, I mean,
Um,
the other thing too is I just played these games like for the full series, and I
sure.
never picked Decidueye because Incineroar was great for like 2 games, and I champed it, and then I used Primarina, and it was great, and then I didn't champ it, but it's a good fairy type.
Yeah. Well, again, it's sort of carried by the typing a little bit.
Hmm.
I think that Decidueye has an incredible move set. I think in the games that it has Z move potential or Power Crystal potential, like having a like a ghost gem spirit shackle is like pretty insane.
Or
Um, uh, switching into explosions for ROM hacks, being able to move out of shadow tag.
yeah, he
Um,
is pretty good, I
it
guess.
like there are lots of advantages there. It's also pretty quick. Um, it should be the fastest of the three. Um,
Oh, definitely.
but like you
Oh,
get
it's actually it's 70 base speed. It's not super quick,
oh well. Um,
but it is the fastest one.
but like, doesn't this get sucker punch?
Dekadui.
Yeah, I think it gets some form of priority, but it gets Brave
So
Bird.
does get
Um,
Brave Bird. Yeah, it gets Sucker Punch.
okay,
Gets
like
Nasty
that part is
Plot.
kind of nice. Nasty plot, interesting. Like you can kind of run this as a mixed attacker, although I think you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot if you do that. Um, this
He good.
also
He's
gets
pretty even.
U-turn.
Yeah. Yeah, this guy is definitely yeah. I don't know. It's because I don't use him very much. I'm just like, ah, he must suck. But
Yeah,
looking
but
on
but I mean, like
paper,
the
it looks
bulk on
very good.
Primarina, just because of its typing, is nothing to scoff at. And this is definitely, I would say, the frailest of the three. Um,
Yeah, I think that's fair.
so I don't think it's trash, but I don't really see it going above basic tier.
Yeah, I think Basic's a good place. I don't know. I don't know what it's better than. It's kind of hard to say if I'd take it
I,
over
I
Superior. Doesn't
yeah,
have
I think it kind
immunity,
of lives in the
so
same area as Samurott.
yeah, so we can just stick him over there.
Maybe like here.
Yeah, I think that's where I had him too.
Okay,
I'll allow it.
all right. Why don't you talk about Primarina then? Because I've never picked this mon.
Listen, I think of the three, Incineroar is definitely the best.
Mm-hmm.
I never used Decidueye really, except for Rad Red some. Prim is something I've never used much of until I played in the full series, and um, I don't know. It's not. I don't think it's special. It's an Encore user, so that's good. But it doesn't do like it does good damage. It doesn't sit in the field that well unless you put it in front of special attackers.
Yeah.
The thing carrying this guy is its fairy typing. Um, so if you like a slow Encore user, in which there's like cases where slow Encore can be a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. It's probably somewhere with like those guys in the basic tier. I don't think it gets into A tier, but I don't think it's like worse than like Delphox. So
You wouldn't necessarily argue that like having the fairy typing bumps it up a tier.
I guess I just look at the guys in the A tier right now, and like if you had to kick one guy out of A tier to move Prim in, like I don't know what guy would it be. We're back to like, oh, see a Typhlosion.
That's
you're
so
you're
sad.
getting knocked out. I just don't think it like it's a slow. It's like Samurott kind of. It's slow encore. It gets the fairy typing. Maybe it's worthy of being like bottom A tier because it's a fairy type. But
Yeah, it's either bottom A tier, maybe you're like top of B tier.
yeah, I mean, gets misty terrain. I guess that's cool. Gets screens.
You never set up Misty Terrain with this though.
Feels like they could have done better with this Pokemon. Like it's good. It gets doesn't even get set up. It gets workup. I guess. Woohoo.
Ooh, wow.
Um,
+1.
I don't know. I don't know enough about this Pokemon in ROM hacks to really say a lot about it. It just feels like
Yeah.
a mid fairy, if that is even a thing that exists.
I think it maybe goes here cuz it's bulky as hell.
Yeah, yeah, we'll give it
Um
that.
and what like fairy's only weakness is to poison?
Yeah, and the steel thing it takes care of with the water typing. So I mean, it's got yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a good defensive typing, I would say.
Agreed.
But
Yeah, anything with fairy on it is pretty good.
yeah,
Um all right. Incineroar goes in S tier.
yeah. I mean, I don't. It's probably the best. I don't know.
Yeah.
Where do you? I mean, they're just different, but given the not that we're talking about VGC, but
I kind of want to put it here in third. Um,
really,
I do. Um,
you think Greninja's better than Incineroar?
I kind of do for Nuzlocke specifically,
That's
because
interesting.
I think again Incineroar has the defensive capabilities because of Intimidate.
Right.
Whereas Greninja has the ability to switch out fast. If that makes
Sure.
like, so like Parting Shot on Incineroar, I think is good only if you're like super Omega EVing your Incin to like be faster than some things to then like get out of there and drop it for somebody else to like come in and revenge
It,
kill or whatever.
he's interesting in like ROM hacks for doubles. I think
Yes.
like because we know how good it is in VGC. This
Yeah.
Pokemon shines in double battles in like ROM hacks.
Yeah.
But but I feel like in 1v1s it's not quite as good. So
Yes.
I can understand like I think that's justifiable to have it below the Greninja.
Yeah, but like
Seems
for a game
fair.
like Rad Red, like this is an insane Pokemon to have.
Yes, absolutely.
And like Taunt is really big. So you can stop people from, but also Greninja gets that. Um,
It's fake out.
Fake Out is one of its best tools. Like the Flare Blitz being its best physical move is kind of ass.
Yeah,
Only
not
because of the
great.
damage taking element, not because of the
Yep.
lack of power, I guess.
It's a good slow turn or slow U-turn
Slow
guy
U-turn
as
is good.
well. Yeah, it's got, I don't know. I think that at first I was like this is the best starter, but then yeah, like peel back the onion a little bit, it's in the 1v1 format not
Yeah,
as good.
like in the context of double like or like a very specific mode of play, which is VGC. Yes, this is the
Mhm.
best starter
Yes.
Pokemon they've ever made.
Oh yeah.
In the context of playing through vanilla games or whatever, like it's still really, really, really good. But I don't know that it's like the best for the type of game modes that
Right.
we're playing.
Sure. I'll allow it.
Cool. All right. Let's talk about the Sword and Shield guys.
Ooh. Yeah,
Can we start with Inteleon?
sure.
Fuck this guy.
Yeah, I actually think this Pokemon's really fucking bad.
Yeah, I like the sniper ability is okay. Um, it's like snipe shot, like always crits or whatever, but it feels cheesed because this Pokemon's so frail.
It's the epitome of a glass cannon, but I don't know. Its only thing it can do is snipe shot. Like, why else would you use this Pokemon?
I mean, like you get fast Ice Beam. They give this U-turn as well. You've got a little bit of coverage on it, I think, but not much.
I don't know.
Like
'Cause
I'm trying to find reasons to talk about
yeah,
good things about this Pokemon.
my
Um,
like when I played these games, like the vanilla games, my feeling was I was very underwhelmed by well, the starter in particular, but one of the other ones too. It just I don't know,
I think I know what you mean.
like yeah, on paper, like it does the one thing and it does it very well, but I have a hard time getting behind like why would I want to use this Pokemon over like Rillaboom or something? And then looking at the other water types on here,
Yeah.
it's obviously better than Gator. It's probably better than Blastoise. And
Yes,
then
I
it
agree.
gets a little the waters are murky. Is it better than Empoleon?
The
I don't
waters
know.
are murky, Keck.
The waters are
Um,
getting murky.
Here's the thing that I will say I could give it credit for is that it uses Torrent better than uh almost Primarina, but definitely better than
Right.
Samurott and
Yeah.
Leon.
It's gonna outspeed.
Cuz like if you
That
if you get Torrent boost and you crit, like that's kind of nuts.
right. But I mean if you're in Torrent, you better be one shotting because if you don't, then you're gonna die.
Right.
Right.
But
So
it has the speed stat to back that up, right? So like
it does.
for a Nuzlocke, like I guess I'm thinking like EK level Nuzlocke. I know Rad Red is very, very different, which is where you would Nuzlocke this Pokemon or like Sword and Shield, I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I just don't see it. And
It's
there's
yawn
no reason
inducing
for
for
me to
me.
say that. Yeah, I can't get behind it. It's not. Do we need the dumb tier? I don't know if anyone is anything gonna end up in dumb tier. Maybe this
No,
could. I don't know.
I mean it's dumb from the perspective that the design is cool enough to warrant a better Pokemon, and it's just not.
Yeah,
But in that
I
case,
think
I think Ember would also have to go in the dumb tier.
Yeah, I think we should go to dumb tier. I think this is better than Blastoise, but I don't know if
I would maybe put it like here. Or
better
like
than Delphox.
yeah, I mean just even these guys like are bulkier and
Right.
have better move coverage.
Yeah, I'll stick it there. I think that's fair.
It either goes here or it goes here.
No, yeah, I think Tapu Kaka.
Great.
Tapu Koko? What?
Tabakogo goes in S tier. You already know that.
All
All right,
right.
two more. Raboot and Big Rillaboom.
Which one do you want to talk about?
I say we save the best for last, so let's talk about Raboot
Okay.
or Pyromancer.
This Pokemon,
Big
I don't know
B.
what the fuck happened. Because they got Greninja so right. How did they fuck this Pokemon up so bad? I don't get it. Like
I don't know about that.
from just perspective of like its vanilla game, it gets like no moves. So it doesn't really take advantage of Protean or whatever it's called in
Libero.
yeah. It doesn't take advantage that well. Like it doesn't get and it's mostly a physical attacker, but they give it like okay, here's its learned set in Sword and Shield.
Mm-hmm.
Double kick, flame charge, agility, headbutt, counter, bounce, double edge, whatever the fuck court changes. It doesn't they don't give it anything. And then its Evo move is Pyro Ball, which is pretty good.
Yep.
So I'll give it that. But it just feels like it doesn't like these moves. And then even the small list of teams it can learn relative to other Pokemon doesn't seem I don't know.
So yeah, I agree with you. I think. Oh wait, Jake, you went away. Oh, there you
Hello?
are. Okay, now I got you. Hello. I think this Pokemon was bailed by Dynamax because the fact that like Bounce turns into Max Airstream is huge.
True. Oh yeah.
Like the fact that Pyro Ball, like you just get it off a massive Max Flare, and then your next moves power up. Um, yeah, like this is a mon that, like, if they gave like, there's a reason that Greninja is not in this game because Greninja fucks on its own without
Hmm.
the Dynamax capacity, but then the Dynamax gives it more damage and changes its type and does all the same like good defensive things. So I think they kind of had to nerf this a little bit because otherwise it would have been
Yeah,
too
I just
busted. But I
yeah,
think
no, I mean, I get that.
yeah, I think it skews when you like
It,
take Dynamax out of the equation, then you're like, okay, well
yeah,
I'm just left with
it
this
brings it
wiener.
down a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, if they really wanted to like nerf that, like I don't know, they should just done something different with Cinderace, like just a different concept of we don't want to do protein because it's too strong with Dynamax. Just do something
Different. Yeah, I agree.
different. This Pokemon suffers. I mean, it's good like in Radical Red and stuff like that because it can do what Greninja can because they give it moves to allow it to.
Yeah, and also it doesn't have the dual typing and has the changeable typing to like
Right.
be somewhat
So yeah, there is
defensive as
that.
well.
Yeah, he's not total. I mean, he's better than I'm saying for sure. I just playing with him my first time in Sword and Shield, I was just so disappointed. I was just like, what? Like this thing is just awful.
Yeah.
Because you don't even get the Dynamax every fight either, right? It's only in
Nope.
the boss fights. So on these
Yep.
other fights, you're just like, oh, protein double edge, woohoo, let's go. So cool. Or double kick.
Yeah.
Like,
Woo.
yeah, I don't. It, conceptually, it should be good.
Right.
In reality, it's good in some places and not in others. So
All right, where does it go? I have nothing to add about this Pokemon other than what I've added,
I
so
right. I think somewhere in basic tier.
yeah.
I think A tier is a big stretch. But I do think it's better than all the guys in Kaka, especially if you can make proper use of it.
Yeah. Um I feel like this lives here. Cause it beats out like the one trick pony mentality of Superior, I think.
Right.
But it loses to effective stall mons and it loses to effective bulky mons.
Yeah,
Um
I think that's fair.
I feel like like, is Chestnut gonna get overwhelmed by Pyro Ball? Sure. Like, if we're making these things fight each other,
Oh
but
yeah.
like, you know, if you, I'm trying to think, like, if like what's the bulky mon that comes in on this defensively that like just it can't get around, like.
Swampert.
Sure, Swampert.
Swampert would be tough unless you have like some kind of grass, like hidden power grass or something.
Yeah, like rock ground types even with like decent defense.
Yeah.
Just kind of bonk this. Bulky waters in general. Like Blastoise even I think has a positive matchup into this thing, which is saying a lot.
Good old Blastoids.
Yep. No, I think Raboots or I keep saying Raboot. Cinderace is good there.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Big King Kong himself. Can we please?
Yes. Take it away. What do you got? Oh my
This
god, I
dude's
heard that.
insane. This dude is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, having priority grassy glide, that, or well, priority in surge. Having the hidden ability to just set up terrain is nuts. Um, it's a huge power boost for this guy. He like there's a reason he's used in doubles a lot. He gets taunt. He gets
It's
I mean,
fake
you
out.
get recovery from the ability alone.
Yep.
Like the move pool is pretty dense. You get like close combat. You get knockoff is huge. Like yes, Cinderace also gets knockoff, but like this thing, I fear knockoff from this much more than I fear knockoff from Cinderace. I think.
True. Definitely.
Because like the combo of knockoff into grassy glide, like grassy glide into grass terrain just hurts so bad.
Hmm.
Um,
Oh yeah.
so like this thing very quickly snowballs if you run out of like the one or two counters you bring to it, um, and can wreck your day. And it gets that like little bit of healing. It also gets Drain Punch now, I think. Is that right?
Yep, it does.
Huge recovery. I mean, like Wood Hammer being its grass move is like the worst thing about it, I think.
Yeah.
Even though that
I,
also does like an insane amount of damage. But like you just run Grassy Glide and Wood Hammer and then you get to
yep.
pick.
And like if you have like grassy seed or whatever to boost its
You don't
def-
even need it, I think.
I don't yeah, you don't need it,
Because
but
you're not really bringing this in on the things that are killing it, right?
right.
Like the things that you would need a defense boost for. Like you're bringing this in against water types. You're bringing this in against like ground types, especially because then you're just weakening the power of their moves. Um, this can sit in front of a lot of stuff, and it's like, and it's not made to be like bulky necessarily,
Exactly.
but it is so because of its ability and because of sort of just like the pure grass typing only having a few like dedicated weaknesses. Um, yeah, I think this belongs in S tier personally.
I agree. For basically everything you just said, and like you were saying, for a mon that only has like 90 base defense, has a lot of staying power on the field, which is
Hmm.
pretty neat. Um, to me, it feels like they took they took Chessman and they made him better, and they made this guy.
No, they took
And
Infernape and they said, "Yo, let's put him on that bulk."
yep,
Infernape is the cut version of Rillaboom.
that's true. So yeah, I definitely think it's S tier. I don't know if I'd put it. I think it's definitely above Meganium at least.
You think so? I was actually just about to
Yeah.
ask you that. I was gonna
Yeah.
say, like I'm thinking specifically of the niche interaction between grassy terrain, grassy glide, and
Mhm.
triage, draining kiss, meganium, or draining kiss and giga drain.
Yeah.
Like,
So that's tough.
yeah, it's like you get the priority attack,
Hmm.
yes, and it's like a strong physical attack, but you get the healing from triage as well. Like, but then you lose the defensive capabilities on meganium if you go triage instead of like thick fat.
Right. Oof, it's tough
It's
because
tough.
so many good options. I mean, these five are all very, very, very good.
Yeah,
So
but
I don't.
I'm glad we agree that these are the best five. Um,
Yeah.
and I mean, like, Meganium is sort of like an honorary mention because if it doesn't have the ROM hack stuff, like I think
Oh
it
yeah.
goes like here. But like this is with a huge asterisk that like
Yeah. Definitely.
outs like in its gen, we're in Cocketeer or we're in
I
like
think.
bottom basic.
Let me ask you this. Now that we finished the list,
Yeah.
when people look at this, what do you think you're gonna get the most, or will get the most pushback on?
Um,
Because I look at
probably
Meganium and I think Meganium is something that people are gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
sure. Yes. Um, I think Typhlosion probably will. People will argue for higher, maybe not S tier, but like maybe like alongside Charizard on top of A.
Right.
I think I've seen people put Venusaur in S tier as well, but I
Hmm.
think mostly that comes from like a VGC perspective of just like of all time, which starters are better.
Right.
Um, I don't know. People might complain about Rab or Cinderace. I don't know. I'm pretty happy with a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
think it looks
these.
good because I'm looking at it now and I don't really see much that I would like based off of our criteria and all that and what we've discussed. Like we moved Typhlosion up like in the middle of it because it became like the bar basically. We kept saying, well, Typhlosion can do all this and that, and then so we moved it up. Other than that, I think we did pretty good. Like we got, I don't see much that I would change. Um, I think people are gonna look at where the Hoenn starters are at and they're gonna think they should be higher. But
Well, I mean, I
some
think
of
we did a
it's
pretty
like,
good job of appealing to the Kanto and Hoenn enjoyers, like the
yeah,
Gen 3 pilled people. The Here's the thing I want to bring up though before we close this out, and
okay,
it does have to do with Typhlosion. Um, so we talked about things doing one thing really well,
yeah,
and for that reason we have Sceptile higher than Typhlosion.
right.
Can we reasonably say that and like justify Sceptile being higher simply because its generation has all water types?
Well, that's what I said earlier though. I said that I thought we had a Swampert because it just shits on three-quarters of the region. But then you said like, well, like Swampert can too, right? Because and then it can do more.
Right, but in like the vacuum of let's say like Rad Red, like Sceptile still does well into those water types, but like you're you're just not seeing as many of them necessarily.
Right.
Whereas like if you don't like the only way Typhlosion with Choice Scarf Eruption loses is if you put a bulky water type in front of it or
Right.
like something that very clearly resists it
Yeah.
or another fire type of Flash Fire.
The
But
the thing with Typhlosion that I think Sceptile doesn't do, like Sceptile is very good into the water types, right?
right,
But Choice Scarf Eruption adaptability Typhlosion, it doesn't have to be like it can be anything that doesn't resist it. And even
right,
then, some things that do resist with like awful Spadef like
still die.
might just die anyways.
Yep,
So I feel like it can kill a lot more things than
Sceptile
Sep
can.
can.
Yes, correct.
So what are we trying? Are we trying to move Typhlosion up more of the list?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
I think it has to go here. I think that's again.
Okay, so how close do we think Sceptile and Swampert were? Because I mean, if we're gonna, I would just move it ahead of Torterra then, honestly. Because I feel like Torterra, Swampert, and Sceptile are like they're close. So,
Okay.
oh, people are gonna hate us.
I don't think that's true, but
The Typhlosion love is real. Holy shit.
I mean, I'm also just biased to it right now because it frauded 2 on Mat 2 for me and also just
uh,
invalidated some of the hideout with Blaze.
I
So
mean, do you
like
think it's better than Charizard? That's always the one comp is, oh, Typhlosion got the same BST, but
yeah.
it's not the flying type or whatever.
No, I think for Nuzlocke it lacks the
Yeah,
versatility.
yeah, I think that's fair.
Like
Damn.
there definitely becomes a point where like you're the one thing you do and do it really well, even if you do kill technically more stuff than Charizard, which I would hazard to say is true. Like, if you don't have a flying type, something's got to eat an Earthquake
Yeah.
coming off
Yeah.
of this. And like it kind of, but by the same token that we talked about, like, oh, having one thing that you're like move that you're always gonna bait is like pretty good for Nuzlocke. Like,
Mhm.
Earthquake is a really tough move to get around unless you have a
Right.
flying type, because it just does
Very
so
true.
much damage. Even on non-stab mons, like it's something always to fear.
Mhm.
And unless you're outspeeding that thing, like there's so many water types that just can learn Earthquake. At least I'm thinking of it from like an
Yeah.
Emerald Kaizo perspective.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you nailed that one.
But
Yeah.
again, like and also too, it's carried by the item. Like there are things that outspeed this and can
True.
KO it, or at least like. And here's the thing too: anything that outspeeds Typhlosion naturally, as long as it doesn't have a choice scarf, which for Nuzlocking you may not get at all or get
Right.
very late in the game.
Mhm.
If something's faster than you, Eruption is going to do significantly less damage if you get hit first.
Right.
So
But even so, like if it's still assuming it's adaptability, even if it's adaptability like flamethrower, it's gonna do a lot.
sure.
So, but yeah, I get what you're saying though. If you don't have the item, this one's another asterisk. I think like given the item and the ability. I mean, it's 100 base speed, so yeah, I can definitely get outsped by a lot of things.
Right.
Um,
But yeah, like
but yeah,
I would argue that the choice scarf is like the only item you can give Typhlosion that makes it pseudo viable.
yeah. The only
Like,
other thing is like maybe specs if you know you're outspeeding like everything,
right.
and that's
But
also insane. But yeah,
again, you're gambling hard into the one move.
yep,
As opposed to like, okay, let's look at Rillaboom. Like you can have Choice Band, you can have Grassy Seed if you want to like live a little bit longer. You can give it Leftovers. You can give it Assault Vest.
hmm
You can give it Heavy Duty Boots even for like more modern stuff if you want to get around Stealth Rock Spikes, and or like
right,
Safety Goggles if you want to get around Sandstorm and Hail and all that shit. So it again, there becomes a point where being the most versatile thing is like giving you the highest evolutionary advantage. Um, Not to get all
for
Darwin on
sure.
you, but like,
I mean, look at the S tier. I mean, like Greninja and Infernape are like perfect examples. Rillaboom is too. I
mm-hmm,
don't know if Meganium's like super versatile, but
no,
it has a ton of staying power, so there's something to be said for that.
yeah,
And then Incineroar is just
yeah. Meganium might be our worst take. Sorry, Meganium might be your worst take.
wait, we put it there. I don't know. This
Yeah, sure, we did. Yep.
I think it's deserving.
And with that, I think we're gonna end this episode here. This will be a 2-hour seminar that you can watch wherever you find your podcasts. Also on YouTube. We do have a subreddit. Please go. Somebody post something in the subreddit. We would love to interact with you, the viewers, the fans, and talk and doc some more.
Ooh, very nice.
So yeah, on that note, I think that's gonna do it for this episode of the Docking and Talking podcast. Again, I'm your host, the Flying Veed, and I'm Jake One, the Warden.
Oh, they're gonna outro me. And I'm Jake One the Wiener.
A wiener indeed. We'll see you for the next one, everyone. Take care.
Ace Raid.
Ice Raid. Also, I just
Okay.
want to say this is gonna be a long ass video.
Yeah, it is. How long have we been? Like an hour?
More than that.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Let's keep going. Let's keep cruising.
Okay.
Samurai.
All right.